Hi, everybody. Welcome to Let's Not Talk About the Husband. It's Friday. It's another podcast day.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. We've been busy lately. We've been traveling.
We've been all over the place. Yeah.
All over the place. I have a little story to tell you. I was in New York with you, actually, but this is after you left. So we'll go back to that. And, you know, I hadn't been feeling well, so I had to go see Dr. Corvin, who's like the ear, nose, and throat specialist in the world.
Yeah, because you've been kind of under the weather for
I've been
a while.
under the weather.
Yeah.
I was having a sinus infection moment. So I, of course, went to see her because remember when we were doing Chicago on Broadway?
Sure.
And
how could I forget doing Chicago on Broadway with my wife?
I know. Amazing. But I would get sick and lose my voice. And if you're doing 8 shows a week, now you have a very trained stage voice. I, on the other hand, do not. I trained as much as I could to get ready for Chicago with Eric Vitro, the best in the world, but still, I'm not a trained stage actor.
If you're going to go and do a Broadway show, you have to strengthen your voice.
I
Training
tried.
and strengthening are both the same thing, but you're going to be doing 8 shows a week. You're going to be belting. You're going to be singing. Your vocal cords have to be strong, really strong, or you're going to get hoarse.
Mine were not. And so I had to go see Dr. Corvin all the time, and she'd shoot me with those steroids so I could frickin' sing.
When she shot you in the butt for steroids for your vocal cords?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I'd be able to go and sing. So I go to see her, and then I have to go to CVS to get my prescription.
Okay.
So I go.
Okay.
And of course, you have to wait.
Okay.
Because it's not ready. So anyway, long story short,
it's getting longer all the time.
I know. Well, sometimes I'm breathy
going.
and wordy. So I'm sitting in a chair across from the pickup and drop off of the pharmacists. And I sit down, and it's freezing cold in New York, so I've got 10 layers on. It is so hard in New York to move around when it's cold.
And what are you sitting on? Is there a chair in the pharmacy?
It's a little plastic chair that people can wait, or they're waiting to get their shots.
Okay.
So I'm sweating profusely because I have a fever and I have a sinus infection or whatever, and I've got 10 layers of clothes on. I'm just sweating, going, oh my God, it's so fucking hard to live in New York. How do people do it? And, I'm having my own inner dialogue, but I look across from me and there are these drug tests lined up. The kind that you have to pee in a cup.
Yeah.
And I thought back to a little parenting thing that we did back with Delilah when she turned 16 years old.
That's right.
I ordered drug tests off of Amazon, and we scared the fucking bejesus out of her.
Well, did we put them on the kitchen table or something?
Yes.
And she walks in and she says, what are these? Those are drug tests. You come home a little bit late. We're going to administer the drug. Tell me the story.
I just think that we got them, and we had them out, and we were like, just so you know, we could drug test you at any time. She had just gotten her license. And we scared the frickin' bejesus out of her with those drug tests.
Did we ever administer a drug test to her? I don't think we ever tested her.
I don't think we did, but I think it scared them they both were scared by it because then Amelia saw it. Anyway, I'm sitting right across from them, and it burst into my mind. I was like, do you remember when we used to threaten a drug test?
Yeah. Do we still have those around?
Yeah.
Because I could use them on you. I mean, let's talk about where you are right now, what you're going through right now. What happened? What do you think has happened? So you've been sick for about 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks. And you've been under the weather, and you don't know what it is. And we've been wanting all these doctors. What is it?
I think it's many things. I think it's a lot of things. I think maybe, I'm going to sound like such a freaking hypochondriac. I really am.
I'm just going to go back to these drug tests. Do the drug tests test for benzodiazepine?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
good.
test for everything. They test for coke. They test for a list of every single drug.
So why
on
don't
the
you
planet.
talk about where you are right
All
now
right.
with
Well,
this thing?
I will. Okay. So first of all, my jaw starts to hurt.
Yeah, your jaw has been hurting.
Okay.
So you're saying it's TMJ
Out of the
or
blue.
something like that. But you mean your jaw not just hurting. It's hurting with a capital H. It's hurting on fire.
Yeah.
Right?
So a year ago, I'm in Canada doing judging RuPaul's Drag Race Canada, whatever it was called, something.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. You were
So,
judging RuPaul's.
My
thing.
jaw was killing me a year ago. I didn't know what to do. So somebody said, you should get Botox shot in your jaw. And I was like, all right.
This Botox thing, it's going everywhere. It's going into your neck. People put it in their jaws.
Well, migraines.
And didn't we hear last night that men are putting it in their penises?
Oh, no. Okay, hold on. We are all over the place. What we heard last night on the late night talk show.
Yeah.
What's his name? Colbert.
Oh, Stephen Colbert.
Stephen Colbert.
Right.
So, allegedly, finance bros, this is what it read. Finance bros are getting filler put into their penises and their scrotums to make them bigger.
Filler, not
filler.
Botox.
Botox is different than filler. Botox is a muscle relaxer.
It's like botulism toxin, right?
Yes.
So it's the stuff that people used to die from eating canned food that had botulism in it. Now they're injecting it into their skin.
Yeah, so I mean, that could be my issue right there. I mean, if you just think of it like that, it could just be botulism all over my body.
Because you've had Botox.
Yes.
You're admitting you've had Botox. It's very brave of you to admit that.
I'm talking about it being shot in my jaw right now.
Oh, right.
Which, by the way, helped. Then I went and got a stint, which is like a mouth guard, but it's different.
A stint.
A stint, it's
stint
called.
is like you put in your heart to keep.
Yeah, but this is for your mouth.
A mouth stint?
So I went to a TMJ dentist. She made a stint for my mouth. So this has been going on for a year, right?
Okay.
So all of a sudden, just now in January, just after we came home from Cayman, my jaw starts to hurt again. And I'm like, what is going on? And
so what is going on?
I go to Paris and I'm powering through, having a great old time, but my jaw is hurting more and more. And the more I talk, the more it hurts. So we know it's hurting a lot because I fucking can't shut up. Right?
Well, I guess it's from your lips to God's ear, you can't shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I go to New York and I feel sicker, like I have the flu. So now it's the jaw's hurting, but now I've got a fever and chills.
Okay, so you're fucked up.
And then my sinuses start to go.
Okay, so you're really fucked up.
And I'm really fucked up.
But why is this happening? What is, in your estimation, what's going on?
Well, I thought sinus infection, flu, 2 different antibiotics. Everything's still hurting.
What about this little bug that you got bitten by in Cayman? We were talking about that too.
What did you call that again?
It's Oropouche virus. It's a common virus in the northern part of the southern hemisphere, and it's equatorial. It's happening in the Caribbean, and we were in the Caribbean, and you did get bitten by one of these things.
So what if I have all of it, and then I am put on prednisone while I'm taking the antibiotics?
So you got a steroid happening too.
I can't sleep for the life of me on a steroid. So guess what? I have some Halcyon that I've been taking when I travel.
Okay, it's a sleeping pill.
It's a sleeping pill.
Okay, and
which happens to be a benzo.
It's a benzodiazepine, right?
Now, I think most people know that I already had an issue with this when I was on Housewives, and I was taking Restoril for 4 years to sleep.
Okay, it's also a benzo, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I titrated off of that because I was like not remembering things. It was affecting my memory, and I was like, I got to get off this. I cannot be doing Housewives and not fucking remember what's going, coming on, going on.
So what's going on now?
So now, this is what I think.
Okay.
About almost 2 weeks ago, I said, I'm not going to take this anymore. This Halcyon's making me feel weird. I don't like it. I took it for about a month.
Okay.
Or more. Maybe even a little more. Because also, after the election, I called my doctor and I said, I think I need a little bit of Xanax.
Oh, so you thought there might be a little bit of chaos out there, so you might, okay.
So a little bit of, I got that. But
So
if you take a little bit of benzo from November to February, and then you say to yourself, I'm going to stop because this doesn't feel good, I think I have withdrawal symptoms going on top of everything else.
Okay, and we find...
Because I've Googled all of it for 45,000 hours.
It's all about Google, right? So it's all about...
I've Googled everything you could possibly Google.
No, so we have this device right here, and we can go on this device and we can find out all this stuff that we think might be going wrong.
And I think I have it all.
It's a rabbit hole that you can go down forever. So you've got, potentially
TMJ,
sinus infection,
sinus
TMJ,
infection.
the flu, You're also coming off of benzo. You're having withdrawal symptoms from benzo. And on top of all of that, you got bitten by a bug and you have oral bouche, whatever it's called, viral attack going on in your body.
Yeah.
And so you're all fucked up. But you look really cute. I mean, you look really cute. I mean, I love the hat. I love the turtle. You always look great in turtlenecks.
I've seen pictures of me recently where I look completely stressed out. Like my face is like, help me. Because I haven't felt good for a month. And I'm not a complainer, but I've complained more than ever.
Yes,
because I can't figure it out.
And I've been around that.
I apologize, but yeah, you know, that happens. Like, you know, for better or worse.
But the trips, they were successful, were they not? I mean, you went to Paris. You went to Paris, and we're going to have to come up with some pictures to show of all the unbelievable outfits that you wore when you were in Paris.
Have you seen them all?
I've seen most of them, and they're pretty outrageous. I mean, we're going to have to show some pics because, I mean, these things, the things that they put you in when you walk around in Paris, I mean, they are out to lunch.
Well, the things that we put me in, because, you know, I have to co-sign, you know, I'm not.
But the things that you come up with, put it that way, you come up with the most outrageous shit. I mean, and I go, yeah, but it works. Somehow, not only it's like totally weird and off the charts weird, and yet you are like phenomenally beautiful wearing all this stuff. And I go, yeah, no, but it's true.
But why do you think it works? Like, who would have ever thought 2.5 years ago that this would be my life? Well, I mean, wouldn't have seen it.
That's how the future works. You never have any clue what's going to happen. You know, who would have thought that I'd be selling sauce?
Right.
You know, 2.5 years ago, the idea of me having a sauce out there.
Oh, read that review that you told me you got.
Oh, right.
I would like you, since we're talking about the sauce.
So let me read this review. Okay. Well, it's not review. It's somebody who tried the sauce. Okay, here it goes. And this is from Penny J. I'm not going to say her last name because anyway. So Penny J.
Where'd this come into? How did you get it?
It came into our website at harrysfamous.com, which we can write reviews and stuff there. So it's titled The Best Tasting in big bold letters. And then it says, I've been wanting to try Harry's sauce ever since he served it on Housewives. Recently, my cardiologist said I needed to try a lifestyle change and change my diet. So we agreed I'd try a Mediterranean diet. So, searching for the right kinds of food to eat, Harry's sauce popped up. I read the ingredients and ordered 6 jars. Let me say this is really the best sauce I've eaten in a long time. I enjoyed it so much, I took a jar to my cardiologist on my next visit. Let me close with, I've been on the Mediterranean diet for a little over 6 weeks and I've lost 12 pounds. Harry's sauce has helped me drop some much needed weight.
Wow.
This sauce is plant-based, fresh ingredients, and vegan-friendly. I will be keeping this in my pantry for sure. Thank you, Harry, for a great product. Wow. I can't wait to see what you come up with in the future. Respectfully, Penny J. And she's attaching the verified buyer badge below because I guess people like, you know.
What does that mean?
Well, I think people who work for a company could write a review like this and make it look like they actually tried it, but they didn't. I mean, just like, you know, just somebody writing a fake review in order to get your reviews higher. So they have I guess there's a verified buyer's badge. You can, you know, so you can, instead of claiming to be someone who tried the sauce, you can be proven to be somebody who actually tried the sauce.
So look at what you learn new every day.
Isn't
look what I learn new every day. Hey, I wonder if I should call her cardiologist and have him check me out. That's where my mind went. As you're talking about your sauce and how great it is, I'm thinking, cardiologist. Okay. I haven't seen a cardiologist yet. Maybe I should.
That is definitely a hypochondriacal thought. So yeah. But anyway, you look like you look really cute.
Great. I mean, seriously?
So, yeah.
I feel like shit.
Well, you look cute, so that's, you know, it's a good thing.
Okay, so, anyway, enough about me and my illnesses. I'm going to get better. I'm going to be okay.
Yes, you are.
But I don't really know what it is. But I will be better. I bet you by next Monday I'm better.
Without question, you'll be better. So
okay. Anyway,
more on your Paris trip.
So
I want to hear more about what you did.
Let me ask you, of the looks that you saw, which one did you go, oh, I really like this one? Because you might like more than others.
I mean, you have so many bold, interesting looks that have come out in so many different places. There's no way for me to place the one in Paris. I mean, the magazine you came out in Canada, the fashion magazine, had some of the most outrageous looks I've ever seen in it. But none of those was in
Paris. Paris was Jean-Paul Gaultier with the Madonna blonde wig and the striped
Where was
suit.
the big polka dot? Where was the one?
The big polka dot was Victor and Rolf.
That's also Paris, right?
That's Paris, and I wore the red wig.
And is that the one where people are saying you look like olive oil?
Yes.
Right.
Our neighbor said that. Thanks, Felicia.
Olive oil from
but of course,
Popeye,
we knew
right?
exactly who. So the outfit had a cardboard circle.
Yeah.
That you literally put on it. And this is what's really funny. If you saw me like trying to get through life in these outfits, the
you couldn't get
shoulders
into
were
a
about
car,
this
right?
big. I was hitting the doorway. Like I would walk through my hotel room and it would hit the doorway. When I got in the car, it hit the car. I mean, it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but
I am funny in these outfits because you know what happens to me? Because I love the expression of the creation of it. I become a character when I put these on. I truly do. So, for instance, when I had the Victor and Rolf polka dot with the red wig, all of a sudden I become whatever that is.
What was that? What would her name be? And then what would she? What would
I know
her?
I should
Would she
start
be?
naming them again.
Would she be like a spy? or
No, it's
something?
clown-like a little bit.
She'd be a clown.
Clown-like a little bit. Like she was a little bit static and
But
fun.
she was fun and said, was she ditzy?
Little bit ditzy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so then compared to, we'll cut to New York when I got to go to my first Marc Jacobs show, which was an absolute thrill for me. I've loved Marc Jacobs. We love Marc and his husband Shar.
Don't they have a fish named Harry?
Husband Shar. They have a fish named Harry Hamlin. We
Okay.
had dinner with
Let's
them.
keep that fish alive.
But I'd never been to a show. And so to get to go to a Marc Jacobs show was really so high up on my
Yeah.
bingo card.
I remember
never
you were
thought.
saying you really wanted to do that.
So it worked out last minute. Didn't know it was going to happen, and it happened. And I, of course, had seen the collection before and was just a huge fan. It was this doll-like collection, so everything is oversized.
This
And
is couture, right?
it's not couture, actually, but it's like couture. Marc's collection is like couture,
So,
but
and
it's not
let's
considered
explain what couture, the difference between couture and regular fashion week is what?
Well, couture is one of a kind. So if you go to a couture show, what I learned this couture is there's only 4,000 couture clients in the world.
And they got to be like super rich, right?
They're really,
This is like
really
the top of the 1%.
very, very
right?
wealthy. And they have these outfits made one of a kind. Like there's not going to be 5 of them.
Can you actually wear them? I mean, they look so outrageous. I go, could you actually wear this to a party or something? And what would be the proper venue for something like that?
Well, that's a good question, and you'd have to ask them. But I mean, clearly you can wear it to the couture shows.
yeah,
and they
that's
go
a
to
little
the
bit
shows.
incestuous. You
It
could only
is.
wear it there, right?
Well, you could wear it to the Met Gala.
you wear it to the Met Gala. Okay.
You could wear it to, major charity functions, but we'd have to ask them exactly. But my friends from Sweden, from Copenhagen, Frederick and Steph and Johan. So Johan, they have a hair company, Bjorksen, and he does my hair a lot of the time. He does the wigs in Paris. Frederick buys couture. So he's a part of that couture group. So when I go to Paris, I get to roll with the couture clients, which normally, if you're going as me, you just go, and I'm not considered a couture client. I'm considered VIP.
Because you hang with them.
VIP celebrity,
you
I
have
guess.
access to that world then.
Well, it just makes it more fun because they're really rich. And we all go together, and I got to tell you, it is such a good time. We have so much fun. And then they go and have fittings and buy the stuff.
Now, and it's all male couture, right? I mean, are they
It's
buying
female, but he buys female couture. He loves to buy because he wears
But what does
all
he
things.
do with it?
He
Does
wears it.
He wears it. Okay.
Absolutely. So he'll go to Balenciaga. He'll see a coat come down, and they will fit it just for him and make it just for him.
Oh, but this is a woman's coat or a men's
is.
coat? A woman's coat.
Absolutely.
But what about other women's stuff? I mean,
He wears all of it.
okay. Yeah, it's
Wears
kind of androgynous.
all
then.
of it, and it's fantastic.
Uh-huh.
He loves Schiaparelli. I'll show you all the pictures. He wears big hats. Remember when we were in Paris and I wore the bowl cut wig to Vivienne Westwood? It looks like a mushroom.
Yeah, I kind of remember
Okay.
that. You've got so many different looks.
I know.
How could I possibly remember them all?
I know,
No way.
but Frederick has like a purple feather mohawk. He and I are like two peas in a pod. Us meeting was like,
Really?
we are like mirror images of each other.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to get the mohawk, the purple feathered
I'd like
mohawk?
to.
Really?
I would love to.
Really?
Yeah, when we
Is
were
this
in,
a haircut or is this
it's a hat.
It's a hat. Oh,
made
something
out
you
of
apply. Okay.
purple feathers.
Oh, so he doesn't actually have a mohawk haircut.
No, but he's as crazy as I am. In other words, he's willing to go and push the limits. I know it's hard for you to wrap your brain around, but it's
Well, this
true.
is, I don't know this. This is a person that exists in Paris and in Europe.
I know.
But I don't know this person. The person that I come home to and comes home to me and lives with me and our dog and all that stuff is not that person.
Wears Free City sweatpants
Yeah.
and a James Purse t-shirt and a, what's that sweatshirt I wear? What's
I don't
the
know,
brand
but
of
you're
it?
in sweatpants 99% of the time.
And
So,
my
yeah,
and my moccasins.
That's
That's what's so amazing. And people have seen that because that's what I dance in. I dance in that outfit.
Right, that's right.
But the juxtaposition of who I am is so fucked up, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I know you as the
It
person
really
sitting
is.
across from me now. I mean, yeah, you're normally you're in sweatpants and a t-shirt, but yeah, the
Where's this
person in
other
Paris-
person come from?
I don't know this person. I don't know this person who goes to Paris and is so fabulous. I mean, you're fabulous, but I mean, the person in Paris is like ultra fabulous.
She is
right?
so much
Yeah.
fun. You know, here's the next thing.
Now, would
though.
you have fun if I was with you?
Yeah, here's the
I'm
next
a straight
thing.
guy.
Listen,
you know.
here's what we just said. While we were just there, Frederick looked at me and he said, "You know, Harry needs to come the next time, and we need to take Harry to a few of the shows because it will blow your mind."
I
I'm
guess
not
so.
sure you would like it. I don't know. You may run for the hills, but you could go to Hotel Cost and have dinner with Michael.
I suppose. I mean, I
you
don't
know,
know. I have no
and
idea
hang.
how I would react to that. You know, I like to be alone at 12,000 feet in the mountains, and I like to hike and stuff and be out in
Yeah.
the wilderness. And you know, the idea of sitting with all these fancy people in a show with all these like amazing outfits.
Okay,
I don't know.
but let me just present this to you. Cut to, your youngest daughter is going to be walking the show.
Well, that.
How would you like to see that
I would
in
like
Paris?
to see her walking those
Okay.
shows. I've seen her walking a couple of shows.
You
I've
have.
been, but not since she's taken off and become like this huge model.
That's right.
So I would like to see that.
So that is what we need to do next.
Yeah.
Is go to Paris and sit front row and have you watch her walk.
But what do I
because-
have to wear when we go to these things? Do I have to wear all this stuff, like these crazy outfits?
Well, we could modify it, but I kind of would like to see it.
Really?
I'd kind of like to see.
Would you
Oh
like
my
to meet,
God, I'm
would you
getting
like
an
me-
idea.
Would
Hold
you
on,
like
hold
me to
on.
wait? Would you
Hold
want me
on.
to wear this women's couture stuff?
Yes.
Really?
Okay. No, this is what I
Oh, my
want.
God.
I want Frederick to style you. We go and we let Frederick style you for one of these shows.
No, I'm terrified. Are you kidding me? I'm trying to picture myself with a purple mohawk.
Oh my God.
You know?
Oh,
No, I
it
mean,
could be
it's
so
not gonna
much fun.
happen.
Would you ever do drag? Would you ever dress up in drag and do that?
Why would I do that?
Well, why not?
I mean, don't.
Would it be fun? You might be really gorgeous in drag. Have you ever
You know,
done drag?
I
Have
know.
you ever
I
had
one
a
time
wig
when
and
I was
made up?
when I was a kid, we had a housekeeper named Lupe.
My mind is going 5,000 miles an hour.
Hold on a sec. So I did.
Lupe.
I had mononucleosis one time, and I stayed home for a month from school because
I
you
hate
had
that.
mono, and so I was just bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
And my mother had this wig, this sort of blonde wig, and I kind of was the same. So this is now when I'm 13, 14, about the same size as my mother, and I played this trick on Lupe, on our housekeeper, and I put my mother's wig on, and I put her dress on, and I put some makeup on, and I came to the door, and I said, "Is Harry here?" Pretending to be a girl.
My
and she
God.
didn't get it. She thought I was this girl who was coming to visit.
Well, you
this,
were pretty cute at that age. You're pretty gorgeous. So,
But I got her, and then so she would say, "Excuse me one second," and I would run around to the side of the house, crawl up the outside, and get in the window, take off all the makeup in here, and she'd knock, and then she'd say, "Harry, there's someone here to see you." I go, "Really? I'm not feeling that well, but I'll come down in a minute." And then I'd put all the stuff on, and then I'd go back down, and I'd be at the back door, and she'd come down. She'd say, "He'll be down in just a minute." Yeah.
so how did that make you feel?
What? Well, afterwards, I felt pretty bad about it because
Did you?
This is a long, long time ago. This is like more
How
than
old
50
were
years
you?
ago. I was like 14 years old. But that
And
was
people weren't doing that.
that
back
was the
then.
very
People
last
were
time
not.
I ever dressed up as a girl.
Oh, well, I think we have work to do then.
No, not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, how about just in an outfit, no makeup? We just let Frederick style you. Would you be open to that?
Well,
I mean, you could say yes or no, but I would love to see what he would.
Look, I'm Scottish, right? So Scots, they wear a kilt.
Would you wear a skirt?
I'd wear a kilt. I'd wear a kilt because I'm Scottish.
Oh.
And I've got a tartan I could wear, but a dress, I'm not sure I'd go that far. I won't wear a dress.
I love this idea so much. We're going to have to do something. We just are, because now my creative juices are flowing.
What do you want to use
I
me
mean,
as some kind of...
we won't do it at Amelia's show. We'll go to Amelia's show and you'll be dressed
I'm going
very
to have to agree to this.
simple.
You're
But
assuming that I'm going to agree to this.
I'm just saying it would be so much freaking fun. Do you know it would fucking shut down the internet? It really would. It would shut it down.
If my desire was to shut down the internet, great. But I don't have a desire
All
to shut
right.
down
Well,
the
let's
internet.
see how it plays out. I like the idea, but I think it'd be fun. But I'm going to go further because, of course, everyone thinks you're gay. Everyone thinks this is what's really interesting. So we went and we had dinner at Kathy Griffin's, right? And she had this great group of people together. And I didn't tell you this. So recently, Kathy went on a podcast and talked about our dinner when she asked us what really happened in Amsterdam. Remember?
Oh, right. Okay.
So she goes on a podcast and tells the story, which is hilarious, but basically says, you say that we said that Kim Richards assumed that you had done something really bad, and we were joking saying, yeah, you fucked the dog.
So this is the whole let's not talk about the husband thing. Which
Exactly.
is the whole reason why we're doing this podcast.
Exactly.
Or the title of it anyway. So.
But what I think is so funny, I get sent her talking about it on somebody's podcast. It's funny, but all the comments are, oh, they just won't be honest about it. He's gay.
About
He
me?
has so many mistresses in Canada. He's gay. She's his beard. On and on and on and on. And I find it so fascinating that, number one, we're the only housewife couple to still be married. But you're gay and you have mistresses.
You're my beard.
And I'm
right,
your beard.
Right.
You're fucking busy. How do you do it all, Harry? My question is,
I am
how do you
having
do it
the
all?
time of my life. I've got no boundaries, essentially. Right? Dogs.
I mean, what's your favorite? I mean, how do you have mistresses in Canada and that are women, but then you're gay and I'm your beard, and we just say you fucked the dog to throw everybody off?
Yeah.
I think we're pretty smart, right? Wow.
Yeah. And think of the diseases I would be bringing home, too.
I know. I just think it's so funny. I'll never forget when I was doing the show, when people would get mad at me, you all of a sudden were gay, or you have mistresses in Canada, people have seen you.
Yeah.
And if they liked me, oh, we were such a sweet couple and they love our relationship and they love our family. But anytime they got mad at me, you were fucking gay.
I came out of the closet every time they got mad. Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? What do you think when you hear this about yourself? Do you care? Do you laugh? Do you even like...
I don't give a
Two
shit.
shits, I know.
Not two
I
shits.
think it's so
no.
interesting, though.
What?
Like, how can you be gay and have mistresses, but they don't call you bi? They don't call you bi. You're not bi. You're gay, and you fuck women in Canada all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I must be very busy. You're right. So
You're busy.
Yeah. Not true.
Anyway.
It sounds kind of exotic, right? But not true.
I love it. I just think it's so interesting. Anyway, what have you been doing? Because I have talked a lot
Yeah.
A lot.
So yeah, I went to New York to sell the sauce, and I
You
did
did?
Andy Cohen. He was very nice and very.
And you did it with Kyle.
And I did it with Kyle Richards. And
Like,
that
that's
was,
so bizarre, isn't it?
well, I mean, there was a moment when I was going to be doing it with Garcelle Bouvet too, which would have been even more bizarre, but really fun because, the whole reason I have a sauce that I'm selling out there is because of Garcelle.
Why didn't that work out? How come you didn't end up doing it with her?
I don't know. I think it was a scheduling thing. They ended up changing the schedule, and I ended up doing it instead with Kyle, which was great because I'm really very fond of Kyle, and I've always liked her. But yeah, I mean, it was really the whole thing was about trying to get the word out about this next sauce, the vodka sauce, which by the way is amazing.
It's amazing, delicious.
Yeah. Tell me how.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had it before you made it into a bottled sauce, and you were making it in the kitchen, and we were tweaking it, and I love this sauce.
Yeah, you put it on everything.
I put it on everything.
Yeah.
I put it. My favorite new pasta that you're doing is the penne with the sausage and the kale. But you don't put sauce on it. It's like garlic and olive oil, right?
Yeah, but it enhances it if you put the.
I'm putting the
sauce.
vodka sauce on it. It's my favorite dish right now.
So that was what I was doing, and then I left New York and I went to Las Vegas with the Creative Coalition, and the Creative Coalition is a group of artists. Actors, musicians, writers, directors.
Been around a while.
From Hollywood. Been around for 30 some odd years. And what we do is we advocate for the arts. So we if there's ever an administration that is antithetical to the arts, and got one right now that could be. We're not sure exactly how that's going to pan out, but we went to Las Vegas to try and figure out a strategy to save, for example, the National Endowment for the Arts. The National Endowment for the Arts has a budget that's tiny, minuscule.
Has he cut that already?
No, not yet.
Good.
Hasn't gotten to that one yet, but relative to the overall budget, it's not even a rounding error. It's tiny, 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 tiny budget, and yet at the same time, a lot of people think that the arts don't deserve any money at all from the federal government, and yet it's very powerful to have an agency in the federal government that doles out a little bit of money. Because let's say I want to put on a play, and I need to raise some money to put on a play. If the National Endowment for the Arts gives me $5,000, then it's not going to get the play off. But I can say the National Endowment for the Arts has given me $5,000, and that'll get me $50,000.
Other sponsors
exactly.
and things.
So
Got
it gives you an imprimatur from the government that allows you to go out and raise more money. And so many plays and so many theatrical endeavors have come out of the National Endowment for the Arts. Unfortunately, years and years ago, an artist named Mapplethorpe did some things that a lot of people didn't like. He got a few $1,000s from the National Endowment for the Arts, but he did some stuff that was pretty controversial, and so it gave leverage to the people who wanted to eliminate the funding.
Is that right?
For yes.
I did not know that.
Absolutely.
I was such a huge Mapplethorpe
so
fan.
we had to fight that, and I remember I went to Washington many years ago, like decades ago, with the Creative Coalition.
Yeah, you've been involved for a long time.
And they were thinking about eliminating the National Endowment for the Arts completely, and it was mainly the Republican side of the equation that wanted to get rid of it.
Oh, big surprise!
And so we went to we went to Washington D.C. And we were going to go into each senator's office and try to convert them from being anti-National Endowment for the Arts to pro-National Endowment for the Arts. And it was we had headwinds. I mean, it was an impossible task. These guys were absolutely against any money at all for the NEA. But I did my homework the night before, and I had been given a big binder, and I stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning reading through all the different bits and pieces of how we were going to approach these politicians in Washington. So I get into this office the next day. I'm in there with a few other people from the National Endowment, and it's the senator from either Idaho or Montana, I forget exactly, but he's got animals on the wall, like
heads,
deer heads and
cut
stuff
off
like that.
animal heads.
And there's a spittoon next to his desk, right? And so I go, this is going to be an interesting meeting, right? And the guy's sitting behind his big old desk. He got his cowboy boots on. And he's saying, "Oh man, I just can't bring myself to give any money to the National Endowment for the Arts. I mean, they support people like that guy Mapplethorpe and all." And he's going on and on and on about it. And he says, "And there's only one good movie I've seen in the last 10 years, and that's Driving Miss Daisy." And I go, in my brain, go, "Ooh, wait a minute." And I look in my book and I go, "Excuse me, Senator, but I just want to tell you that Driving Miss Daisy was funded from start to finish as a play by the National Endowment for the Arts."
Well, look at you go.
I mean, how about that? I mean,
how were you able to do that?
Because I had done my homework the night before.
Look
and the
at
guy had to change his
you.
vote. He had to change his vote because it was now public that he had said that Driving Miss Daisy was the one great movie that he'd seen in the last decade. And it turned out that the National Endowment for Arts was completely responsible for that movie having been made.
Wow, that is a great story, one that I'd never heard. Wow,
Yeah, I mean,
amazing.
Yeah, so we can be effective, if we do our homework and we stay on message.
Yeah.
And we can keep the National Endowment going.
Great. Very good point.
So that was a very interesting moment for me this time.
Yeah.
So we spent 2 days figuring out a national strategy to
Great.
save the NEA.
Super important.
In this administration.
Can people do anything to help? Can they write their
Oh,
senators
absolutely.
or
That's the whole
congressmen?
point is to get people to stand up and fight for the arts.
Great.
And,
Stand up and fight for the arts, guys.
Yeah, we say it's the right to bear arts. We have the right to
that's
bear arts
cute.
in America, and because there's been efforts along the way to cut arts out of 12 K through 12
I know.
programs, and that's where look. I always say, look at Apple, like the most successful tech company in the world. Like they've got there's a $1 trillion company, multi-trillion-dollar company at this point. Why did it stand out and stand above all of the other tech companies that were doing essentially the same thing? Because Steve Jobs was an artist. Steve Jobs was he was a designer. It was his designs.
Aha.
It was what he brought to
Right.
the table that elevated that technology to the point where now Apple is this multi-trillion-dollar company.
And aren't kids smarter if they get art in school? Doesn't
Without
that make
question.
you smarter and
Without
makes you
question.
better at math? Am I just making that up?
No. Studies have been done from here to eternity about how if you involve kids with arts when in kindergarten, nursery school, and first, second, third grade up to grade 12, that they are much smarter in the long run, have much better test scores, and go on to have much better careers.
There we go.
Yeah.
Got to fight for the right to
Absolutely.
bear art.
The right to bear arts.
I love that.
Absolutely.
The right to bear arts. High five. That's good. Really
Anyway, that's
good.
what I've been up to.
Wow.
So you've been wearing really interesting clothes, and I've been trying to save the world of the art world.
I guess we're all trying to save the world in our own way.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
In our own way, we're all trying to save the world.
The interesting thing is that we think that we don't have power, but we do as individuals
do.
have power. One person can make a huge difference in the world. You just have to take the fear away. Eliminate the fear, and then you've got love and you've got power.
I just think we should end on that note. It's so powerful. I don't want to mess it up with anything else. It's so good. Like, what a great note to end on. I just think that's such a good message. I don't want to mess it up with all my frickin' bullshit.
Whatever.
It's so positive. I feel so much better, though. Like, just kind of like vomiting all my bullshit out. And then we end on such a very strong, powerful, positive note.
Oh boy, I'm going to dine out on this for a while.
You should. It's so good. I'm so impressed by us sometimes. More you than me. It's good.
My goodness.
I think it's good. And we'll pick back up.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Next week.
And listening.
Next time.
Those of you who listen, those of you who watch, thanks for watching and listening to Let's Not Talk About the Husband.